Welcome back. This is a review of the new questions from the Quarter 2 Quiz 3, Causes of World War I and America's Fighting in World War I. So these are questions 23 to 29. All right, question 23. Illustration below is based on a cartoon published in 1914. 1914 is the start of World War I. And we have Uncle Sam sitting on a bag of money saying, "Don't worry, their fight need not disturb our business." And here we have Europe fighting World War I. Based on your content knowledge, what does the illustration imply about U.S. foreign policy in 1914? Well, it looks like we're interested in doing business, making money. So let's take a look at our answer choices. We're going to look at money, business, so something about economics, economy. So economic considerations influenced the United States neutrality. So we were neutral. Economic considerations. So it's going to be D. Which of the following is the best title for this list? Question 24. So we have a list. We have 3 bullet points. We have rise of militarism, upset the balance of power, political interference, and unstable Balkan Peninsula. So remember, that is where Franz Ferdinand is assassinated by a Serbian extremist. And we talked about the alliances. Which of the following would be the best title for this? Well, these are all topics when we talk about the main causes of World War I: militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism. These are the reasons World War I broke out. So we're going to go with F, which is A on your answer sheet. How did the Zimmermann telegram influence U.S. entry into World War I? Zimmermann telegram was between Germany and Mexico. Germany's going to use U-boats again. They want Mexico to be on their side if the U.S. declares war. And it's going to be a proposed military alliance between Germany and Mexico. So B or G. All right, this cartoon depicts Woodrow Wilson calling on Congress to do something. And let's take a look at the picture. American ships sunk without warning. So those are the U-boats. If you've been listening to my Zooms or joining the Zoom lessons, we looked at a lot of pictures of U-boats, talked about the importance of U-boats. And he's calling the Congress to declare war. So we're going to leave neutrality and we're going to enter war in 1917. So 3 years after the war starts. Almost 3 years. So this depicts Wilson calling on Congress to do something. If we know American ships are being sunk without warning, we know that the U-boats are controlled by Germany. It's going to be B. Issue a declaration of war against Germany. All right, question 27. In what way was Alvin York influential in World War I? Alvin York was a Tennessean from Fentress County, Pall Mall, Tennessee, who gets drafted from the Selective Service Act. He was going to be a conscientious objector. He was not going to fight based on his beliefs, and he didn't believe in fighting or killing. And eventually he's inspired to decide to join and to go fight, and he becomes a huge war hero. He kills, over 30 Germans, captures over 120 others. So he did not, if he had remained out of the war, he might have inspired others, but he joined, so he did not inspire others to oppose the conflict. He wasn't a general, so we're not going to do military strategy. But he was a war hero. So we're going to see he motivated others with his examples of heroism. All right, 28. U.S. soldiers during World War I. In our notes, and then if you were in any of my Zoom sessions, we looked at a lot of pictures of trenches. They were the defensive structures that protected you from machine guns and artillery. But if you had to attack, you had to go out into no man's land. This photograph shows a military tactic that Made troops more vulnerable to long-range missiles. No, there's no missiles yet. That's not one of the new technologies. Required highly skilled soldiers. Not really. You're just charging out of the trench, going across no man's land. Talk about millions of people dying charging out of these trenches. Made frontal assaults difficult, resulting in long periods of stalemate. Stalemates where both sides are just kind of sitting in their trenches. You can't break each other's defenses. It's really hard to make a frontal assault because of the machine guns in no man's land. So we're going to go with C. Trench warfare. That's World War I. And our final question. General John J. Pershing made a major contribution to the Allied victory in World War I by doing what? He was the leader of the American Expeditionary Force, and he refused to allow the American soldiers to be commanded by the French and British generals, and he did not want to stay on the defensive. When the American army arrives, no defense. We arrive in 1918. He wants to go on the offense. Sorry about that handwriting there. So let's look at this. He had to train an army and ship it across the ocean, a million-man army. So let's look. He did not negotiate the terms for the Treaty of Versailles. That's Wilson. Requesting humanitarian aid. That's not him. It'd be someone more like Herbert Hoover. Did he develop advanced technologies for battlefield use? No. He might have used some, but he didn't develop them, especially since we joined the war so late. Transforming inexperienced troops into an effective military force. That's probably more like it. We tried to train the AEF. So we're going to go with A. So those are the questions on America entering World War I.